Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon where I'll be talking about the movies, of course, the TV shows, merchandise, and I don't know, whatever the case may be. If it's related to Disney in any shape or form, then yes, of course, I'll be talking about it. So here we are, folks. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are already aware of this, of course, but I guess I just threw my 2 cents to this since everybody on the grandma is talking about it. So yes, unfortunately, it is true that James Earl Jones has passed away at 93. So this individual was almost 100 years old. So yeah, that's almost a century. So I guess it's quite understandable as to why this would happen, of course. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Yes, it's heartbreaking news, obviously. So yes, it's sad. It's very sad. He's been in many great movies. Of course, he did some stuff with the Lion King, obviously, and all that jazz. And yes, he helped to voice Vader, of course, and whatnot. But he technically wasn't in the suit really, but the guy who played Vader was somebody else, but he voiced Vader, so that counts for something, I guess. But anyway, yes, he's not just known for that, of course, even though a lot of people would bring that up, obviously. Anyway, but point being, yes, it's unfortunate that he's gone, of course, and he died at 93. He died early Monday morning, starting about family, of course, and whatnot. So that was definitely something. I mean, I guess it's kind of heartwarming in some ways that at least he was around people he cared for, and the people who cared for him and loved him dearly. So I mean, that's something, I guess. At least he was there. Somebody was there with him. Okay, not just somebody, but some people, and not just anybody. His family. So that's something. That's like really sweet. There. That's actually nice. I mean, it's sad in some ways, but still, though. Clearly, he was definitely a graceful individual, and yes, obviously, he was in dozens of movies, quite obviously, and yeah, he was around for quite some time. And yes, he was actually in the movie Coming to America, so that's something. Definitely, he does have that type of voice, which was definitely distinctive. Of course, you can tell he really is genuine with his, of course, voice and whatnot. When he shows anger, when he shows happiness, so he was definitely one of those types of people that does quite well, of course. And this was definitely a good thing. He would be remembered. He would be remembered, oh, definitely. And you can't get mad at that because he has achieved so much in his lifetime. He did a lot more than what a whole lot of other people couldn't, of course. He achieved his dream, what he wanted to do. And that's great. That's great that he do that. I mean, of course, I was saying he was in a truck ton of movies, of course. That's great. So he will go down in history in more ways than one. He was definitely a master of his craft in a lot of ways. He knew what he was doing, and he's definitely is great in a lot of ways he was trying to do. So, I mean, yeah, it's sad he's gone. He was definitely one of the best. I would definitely admit that because it's true. He did have a certain kindness to him. He definitely showed a certain kindness to a lot of people he come across. He has his legacy, of course, and whatnot. And the people he was co-stars with, of course, spoke about him and whatnot, as they should, of course. And they thanked him for all the memories that were given. His memory will live on, of course, in a lot of ways. Sure, you can say that. He was definitely a voice for a lot of people, quite obviously. Again, in more ways than one. And I can definitely say is that he will be remembered, quite obviously. Not just for Star Wars, of course, even though he did play a part in voicing the character of Vader, of course. But yes, he really lived through that in some ways, of course, obviously. So there was that, I reckon. But anyway, I mean, I heard about this kind of thing the other day. At first, I was kind of skeptical because how people kind of just spread some false narrations. But unfortunately, this was a thing. This did happen. This was an actual thing. Unfortunately, kind of like how people spread some news about Betty White dying before she actually died, and yeah, I even heard some news, some false accusations of Eminem dying at some point, but he's still alive. Of course, so it's just still kind of that was kind of weird. So excuse me if I was being a bit skeptical on this news here, folks. But unfortunately, this was a lie. And a part of me was kind of hoping that it was just people just lying about this, but unfortunately, it wasn't. But I guess that's reality for you. I guess you can't undo some. You cannot undo some things. But again, I must have to reassure that he was almost 100. He did meet a lot of people. He did live a good impression on a lot of people. So that counts for something, of course. His memory will live on in many ways, and that's important. A lot of, he did leave a legacy, and of course, a lot of people will believe that he did have the remarkable voice, of course, and whatnot. So that's definitely something. Oh yeah, and he of course he did bring his voice back for Rogue One, obviously, and that's definitely is a thing. And if I remember correctly, he also had a part in the sequel trilogy, the Skywalker, Rise of the Skywalker, of course, I believe. So yes, he's not like he was just did a one time thing with Star Wars. He just did one movie. No, he did. He was involved in Star Wars in more ways than one. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Even if it's to a certain extent, I guess, but that should be definitely is a thing. And from what I remember, if I remember this correctly, he did a bunch of voice bits for Vader, so that Disney can use it for later. It was a I mean, I think there was something about that where he actually had there was actually a truck ton of audio clips that Disney could use for future films or TV shows or something, if I remember that quickly. And he didn't mind it really. And like okay, that's definitely a thing. So it's not like you have nothing to use. So that's something, I suppose. Yes, of course, that's definitely was a thing I believe. Again, excuse me if I remember that wrong, but I remember coming across some article somewhere stating that kind of a thing. So yeah, my memory's a bit fuzzy in that. But anyway, that's kind of just sidetracking here. But anyway, he was definitely involved with Disney in more ways than one. Was what I'm trying to get at here. So yes, he's definitely something I was definitely say. And yeah, he definitely has an interesting film career. Of course, he was in quite a bit of movies and whatnot. And I mean, I do feel kind of bad though because of the fact I didn't see him in many movies. Maybe at some point, maybe I could watch more movies of him. Maybe, of course, I just feel kind of bad that I didn't before his time, I guess. And I mean, I don't say it's not a race or anything. I could always get to when I get to it, sure, but I'm just saying. Anyway, but this was definitely something I want to talk about, of course. And if I remember correctly, he definitely did something in the for the Simpsons, and he also did appear in the early episodes of the Sesame Street in one way or another, which is pretty cool in some ways. Like, okay, sure, why not? To expand his horizon is definitely a good thing. I guess he didn't want to be stuck in one catalog box. However, everyone say he didn't want to be stuck in just one doing one thing, which in some ways is understandable. Obviously, I can't blame him for that, of course. Anyway, I just thought I'd do this video because since I'm already doing quite a bit of videos for Star Wars anyway, so here we are, I guess. Yes, this is some unfortunate news. Like I said before, yeah, it's pretty devastating in some ways, but he did, like we say, I'm trying to reassure everybody that he did leave a legacy behind, so that still count for something. He was surrounded by people he loved. He was surrounded by people he cared for. These people he was surrounded with his family and whatnot. He was definitely surrounded by lots of people. He was He was around. And again, this just goes to show you that you don't take everything for granted, really, because a life can be taken away so easily and whatnot. So I guess you should appreciate the small things. I guess at least that's what I'm getting from this. You should appreciate the smaller things in life, I suppose. Because in one minute you can be around, and the next minute boom, you're gone. And I don't know. I'm not trying to make this more depressing than it should be. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe we should just try to appreciate the small things in life, I suppose. I reckon. But anyway, I just want to just bring this up here because it's Star Wars related, somehow Disney's related and whatnot. So I just talk about this because of that. It's mine as well, I guess. But anyway, I just thought I'd just mention it since he's been around for quite some time. It's yes, I do think he has done a lot of fantastic stuff over the years because he has. He definitely has his own thing going on, quite obviously. And Yeah, I do think him being a part of animation was a great thing that he would do that because he definitely has the the ability to do that. He definitely can portray certain characters. And he has a certain type of veracity. He has the I guess in some ways trying to I guess not just in just not have his career end in just one type of character is what I'm getting at. So he's trying to expand, of course, in a lot of ways. That's definitely is a good thing there, folks. So definitely. But yeah, I just thought it just he just played lots of movies, of course, and it's something that you can actually appreciate. You can appreciate the fact that he was in a lot of films, of course, and whatnot. And he was definitely somebody one of those types of people you can easily remember, of course, and whatnot. Yeah, he just seemed like a genuine person. He just seemed like a really kind person, as in, yes, I never met him in person, unfortunately, but he did seem like a really nice person. Of course, even if it's just watching from the movies, of course. So that's something, right? I believe so. But I mean, you could always talk about his early years. Like his early years could be when he was his education, where he was born and whatnot. It seems like an entire video on his own when you think about it. But of course, if somebody were to make a documentary about this guy, I'd watch it. I suppose. Assuming somebody didn't already do that, I guess. I don't know if they already did. But point being is that I don't mind watching, of course. But yeah, he definitely was uh, an individual that should be remembered because he has done a lot of lot of great stuff over the years. And I believe again, if I remember correctly, he was part of the military service, I believe, in Korea, I believe. And he was expected to be deployed as soon as he received some kind of compensation as some kind of thing here for us. Again, if I remember correctly, he did work on the stage crew and whatnot, and something in the theater work as well around this time, I believe. I mean, I guess we have to start somewhere, right? If you want to have a career in film or acting of some kind or whatever, you have to start somewhere. So kudos to him, I suppose. So there's that, obviously. Well, let me just cut this off already. So I do appreciate anybody for watching these videos. I know these types of videos can be pretty lengthy at times. And I mean, what I was just like I was saying, it's pretty depressing in a lot of ways, but I'm trying to just I guess keep it somewhat upbeat. He did was able to achieve a lot of stuff like a lot of people were unable to do. He did a lot of fantastic work. I'll give him that. He definitely did a lot of fantastic work in his time. So good for him, I suppose. So there was that. He should be proud. He should be proud of what he did. And what I don't understand why he shouldn't be, of course. He did great. He was fantastic. And he always will be fantastic for the years to come, quite obviously. Anyway, thanks for watching and take care until next time. See ya. Oh yeah.